Hello everyone, welcome again to the channel. I want to share with you my opinion about this recent news, and this one is from July 20. Today is July 2021. So it says Putin is facing a second front as some Chechen rebel groups are threatening a new offensive in Russia, back in Chechnya. So the main thing is this battalion that is called the Sheikh Mansour Battalion is planning some activities in Russia, and as you know, there was some fighting in the Soviet Union right after they collapsed. They wanted to become independent, Chechnya, and then they fought for some years. President Boris Yeltsin signed some kind of peace treaty with them. Then they continued to fight for some time until after some time they were kind of making peace again, but there were two of these battalions that came to fight in Ukraine, and this started in 2014. So they started fighting with Ukraine against the independent republics of Lugansk and Donetsk, and these were the Sheikh Mansour Battalion and the Shokar Zajeb Battalion. So there were not a lot of them apparently, but they were still fighting, providing some kind of assistance, and they were of course against Ramzan Kadyrov. As you know, Ramzan Kadyrov is the leader of the Chechen forces that is fighting with Russia against Ukraine. So the main thing is that they say, you can read all the article, it gives a lot of details about this, but the main thing is they say here, it is unclear if the Chechen volunteer forces are strategizing with Kiev by creating a second front. So just that statement made me curious about what will be the involvement of not so much Ukraine, but probably their puppet masters, including the United States and maybe other forces. And let's see how all of this gets tied together. So I'm going to show you an article, and this article is from 2015. This is from the BICE website, and they are talking with a Chechen commander that is battling Russia with some unlikely allies. And the article is quite long, but basically I want to highlight a few things. They were fighting there, and they were fighting with this Sheikh Mansour Battalion, and they were also fighting with right-wing groups. Especially they were fighting together with Right Sector, the Ukrainian far-right paramilitary movement. And they, remember, this is from 2015, and they say the Right Sector at the time was estimated to have between 1,000 and 5,000 men. And many of these refused to join the Ukrainian armed forces, and they are even saying here that they increasingly pose an internal threat to the country. It is probably larger than that, and now all of these organizations are all merged into the Ukrainian army. So you can only speculate what is the influence of all these people, the right-wing extremists, And they also say here the Sheikh Mansour group also fought alongside a sub-battalion. The neo-Nazi views led to the US to ban American soldiers from training and arming its members. This was back in 2015, right? Later they declared, no, there are no Nazis in Ukraine. A sub-battalion is not Nazi, but it was recognized back then that they were neo-Nazis. So they were even banned by the United States, you know. So they have all this information about these battalions. So they mention them here. The Shohar Dudayeb Battalion and the Sheikh Mansour Battalion. This was 2015. Imagine this, no? So they have been all this time fighting together with Ukraine against Russia. And for no other reason than because they hate Russia. You know, no support whatsoever from Ukraine. There was even this article that says that Ukraine was putting them in some sanction list. This was from 2021. See? So they refer to them as North Caucasian volunteer fighters. What they are is really Chechen fighters. And they are again mentioned here, Sheikh Mansour Battalion. See? They say they risked their lives for Ukraine, but now without official justification they are on the sanction list. And this article basically tries to praise them for their work and how they were helping Ukraine, how President Vladimir Zelensky is not doing something good for them, and they were saying that maybe they were going to deport them to Russia. So they are having all kinds of things, but they say also that they were accused of having criminals among their ranks. So it is a lot of information. No? They say that Ukrainian security services were banning them. So they even say that this was some kind of injustice. I don't know too much, but it seems like also Ukraine didn't like them too much. No? They didn't like them too much, but they were fighting along them together with Azov and Right Sector, maybe other groups. And then there is this article that says Russia's Chechen chief blames CIA for violence. And this is an old article from, I think, 2008. Yeah, here it is, 2008. So the person who is making this claim is Ransom Kadyrov. You see? So Ransom Kadyrov said that he has seen CIA operatives who were, working there in Chechnya, trying to create problems for Russia. Basically, that's what they were doing, but they didn't succeed there, and they continued in Ukraine. You see? Do you see how things work, how the United States work? And they say these insurgents were following the radical Wahhabist form of Islam, and they were sympathetic to Al-Qaeda. What a surprise, right? So it is all smoke and mirrors, like they say. It's not true. CIA was not doing anything there. They had nothing to do. They say that even CIA and MI6 were linked with this. So what are the chances that they are again plotting against Russia, Then I found this interesting article that they say that they're about the claim that in 2014, 15, 17, the US government supported Chechen separatism. And this is also a very long article. They go to a great length to detail all different things, but they basically, this is the summary. They say it is partially correct. There is no publicly available evidence that the US ever provided direct material support to armed Chechen separatist groups, much less North Caucasus-based militants who have engaged in terrorist attacks. However, US officials did openly meet with Ilyas Akhmadov, who represented the Chechen separatist movement and whom the Russian government described as a terrorist. In addition, former or serving US government officials publicly expressed sympathy for moderate Chechen separatists and separatist cause. See? The key thing is here moderate. Where have we heard about modern separatists or modern moderate rebels? How about Syria? See, they like to put their rebels as moderate. See, so you can go and read this, but it seems to me like there is some evidence that they were being supported by the CIA, and you can see all the details about this. It really is, goes into a lot of details of how they were meeting with US officials. They even supported some of their members to have asylum and all kinds of things. So it is very possible, in my opinion, that they are creating again problems for Russia. And this the main thing about this offensive, that so-called offensive, is that of course this battalion and their leaders, they have people working there in Chechnya trying to create problems for Russia, so that they will kind of divide their attention. So they will have a local fight, local insurgency, and they will be somehow distracted from the current conflict in Ukraine, and they call that something that is very clever. They say, well, there's nothing clever about this. It's not like they didn't try to do it before, and probably they will try to do it again. So that's my opinion. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section, and as always, I remind you of the opportunity to help support my work as a content creator. I include in the description of every video the different platforms you can use to support my work with donations, if that's your possibility. You can also support my work by liking this video, sharing it in social media, and subscribing to the channel. So that's all I want to say for now. I hope to see you again very soon, and thank you for watching.